the hard times. I was evicted when I was 14. We were kicked off the island. We couldn't live in Hawaii. Had no place to live. He said, "You are throwing it all away. It is the worst mistake you will ever make." And I wish I had someone who could just pull me aside and, "Hey, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay."
1995, Dwayne Johnson sat in a cheap Miami apartment staring at his bank statement. $7. That's all he had left after his football dreams died and depression nearly swallowed him whole. 2025. He's worth $800 million, commands $20+ million per movie, and owns a tequila brand valued at $2 billion. This is The Rock's unbelievable story, and it proves that your lowest moment might just be the setup for your greatest comeback. Picture the moment that would define everything. Dwayne Douglas Johnson, 23 years old, athletic and talented but completely lost, walks out of his apartment to his beat-up car. He reaches for his wallet to buy groceries and counts his money. $7. That's it. That's everything he has in the world. This wasn't supposed to happen. Dwayne had been a star defensive tackle at the University of Miami, part of their 1991 national championship team. He had legitimate NFL dreams, the kind that kids from struggling families cling to as their ticket to a better life. His father, Rocky Johnson, had been a professional wrestler, and his grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia, was a Samoan wrestling legend, so Dwayne understood entertainment. But wrestling seemed like a backup plan, maybe even an admission of failure. Football was the dream. Football was supposed to be the way out. Then came the injury, a back injury severe enough that NFL teams wouldn't touch him. So Dwayne pivoted to the Canadian Football League, joining the Calgary Stampeders for $250 per week. Not glamorous, but it was professional football. It was hope. 2 months later, he was cut from the team. The depression hit like a freight train. Dwayne has spoken candidly about this period, how he felt completely worthless, how he questioned everything about his life and future, how the dark thoughts became harder to push away. He moved back in with his parents in Tampa, Florida, a grown man sleeping in his childhood bedroom, feeling like the ultimate failure. His mother, Patricia, would find him staring at walls, lost in that darkness that depression creates. His father, who had wrestled for decades and understood struggle, could see his son drowning. But Rocky also knew something Dwayne didn't quite understand yet. The lowest point isn't the ending, it's the foundation you build the comeback on. Rocky told his son something that would become The Rock's life philosophy. Be humble, be hungry, always be the hardest worker in the room. Those words, spoken when Dwayne had $7 and zero prospects, became the blueprint for an $800 million empire. November 1996, Dwayne made his WWE debut as Rocky Maivia, a combination of his father's and grandfather's ring names. He had the look, 6 feet 5 inches, 260 pounds of muscle, movie star smile. WWE positioned him as the smiling babyface, the good guy everyone was supposed to love. The fans absolutely hated him. "Rocky sucks!" chants echoed through arenas. The perfectly groomed, always smiling character felt inauthentic to wrestling fans who preferred edgier, more complex personalities. Dwayne was dying out there night after night, getting the opposite reaction WWE wanted. Most wrestlers would have been buried by this reception and disappeared into obscurity. Dwayne saw an opportunity in the hatred. In 1997, he executed one of wrestling's greatest heel turns, transforming Rocky Maivia into The Rock, an arrogant, trash-talking villain who told fans exactly what he thought of them, and suddenly magic happened. The character clicked. The charisma that had been suffocated by the babyface persona exploded in full technicolor as a heel. The Rock's promos became legendary. "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Doesn't matter what you think. Know your role and shut your mouth."
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
These weren't just catchphrases, they were cultural phenomena that transcended wrestling. The Rock could make 20,000 people hang on his every word, manipulating crowd reactions like a conductor leading an orchestra. Within months, The Rock went from being booed as Rocky Maivia to being one of the most electrifying performers in WWE history. Fans who had rejected him now couldn't get enough. The heel eventually became a face again, but this time as the people's champion, a character that reflected Dwayne's natural charisma rather than some manufactured corporate version. The Rock main evented WrestleManias. He won multiple WWE championships. He had legendary feuds with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and Mankind that defined WWE's Attitude Era, the most successful period in wrestling history. By the early 2000s, The Rock was arguably the biggest star in professional wrestling, but Dwayne was already thinking bigger. 2001, The Rock landed his first major film role in The Mummy Returns, playing the Scorpion King in a brief but memorable appearance. Hollywood executives saw something. The charisma translated to film. They offered Dwayne a starring role in a Scorpion King prequel. The salary, $5.5 million, a record for an actor's first leading role. Most wrestlers who tried Hollywood failed spectacularly. Hulk Hogan's movie career fizzled. Stone Cold's films went straight to video. Hollywood was littered with the corpses of wrestling stars who couldn't make the transition. Dwayne faced enormous pressure. If he flopped, he'd validate every Hollywood executive who said wrestlers couldn't act. The Scorpion King earned $165 million worldwide. Not a masterpiece, but a solid commercial success that proved Dwayne could carry a film. The door was open. The next several years were a grind. Dwayne took roles that established action credibility. Walking Tall, The Rundown, Doom. Some succeeded, some flopped, but Dwayne kept working, kept improving, kept building relationships with directors, producers, and studios. Then came 2011 and Fast 5. Dwayne joined the Fast and Furious franchise as Luke Hobbs, bringing new energy to a series that was starting to stall. The film made $626 million worldwide, the highest grossing Fast and Furious film to that point. Suddenly, Dwayne wasn't just a wrestler turned actor, he was a legitimate box office draw. The roles got bigger. G.I. Joe, Retaliation, Hercules, San Andreas. Each film solidified Dwayne's status as a reliable action star who could open movies worldwide. His social media presence, authentic, engaging, constantly connecting with fans, made him one of the most marketable stars in Hollywood. 2017's Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle proved Dwayne had range beyond pure action. The film earned $962 million worldwide, showing he could do comedy adventure just as effectively as straight action. The sequel made another $800 million. Studios realized that a Dwayne Johnson film was practically a guaranteed profit. By the early 2020s, Dwayne was commanding $20+ million per movie as base salary, plus back-end points that could push his take to $50+ million for major films. Black Adam paid him over $20 million. His Netflix film Red One reportedly paid $50 million when back-end was included. The kid who had $7 25 years earlier was now the highest paid actor in Hollywood. But here's what separates The Rock from other wealthy celebrities. He didn't just cash checks. He built an empire, and he did it by never forgetting where he came from. 7 Bucks Production, founded in 2012, was named after that $7 in his pocket. The production company produces The Rock's films, ensuring he controls his projects and earns producer money on top of acting salary. It's not just vanity, it's smart business that multiplies every dollar earned. Then came Teremana Tequila in 2020, and this is where Dwayne's business acumen really shows. The celebrity spirits market was crowded with vanity brands slapping famous names on bottles. Teremana was different. Dwayne was actively involved in production, marketing, and distribution. He promoted it relentlessly on social media, and his authentic passion for the product came through. The results were staggering. Teremana became one of the fastest growing spirits brands in history. In 2023, industry analysts valued the brand at approximately $2 billion. Dwayne owns an estimated 30 to 40% stake, meaning his Teremana holdings alone are worth $600 to $800 million. That's more than most actors earn in their entire careers from one business venture. Zoa Energy, launched in 2021, followed similar principles. The Rock's personal brand backing a product he actually uses. Under Armour's Project Rock line generates over $400 million in annual sales, with Dwayne receiving licensing fees and partnership returns. 2020 brought perhaps his most surprising business move, purchasing the XFL, the struggling football league founded by WWE owner Vince McMahon, had failed twice. Dwayne and his partners bought it for $15 million, seeing potential in secondary professional football. It's a long-term bet that shows The Rock thinking beyond immediate returns. Then came 2024 in a stunning development. Dwayne rejoined WWE's board of directors for TKO Group Holdings, WWE's parent company. The compensation, $30 million plus ownership of The Rock trademark rights. That trademark, the name and persona he created, can now be licensed for merchandise, creating perpetual revenue streams. The numbers are almost hard to believe. $20+ million per movie, often $50 million plus with back end. $600 to $800 million from Teremana Tequila, stake $100 million plus from production company profits, $50 million plus from Under Armour, and endorsements $30 million plus from TKO Deal real estate portfolio worth $50 million plus. Total net worth, approximately $800 million and climbing toward billionaire status. In The Rock's office hangs a framed $7 bill, a constant reminder of where he came from. He's told this story in countless interviews, not to brag about the comeback, but to emphasize that your current circumstances don't define your potential. When young people ask for advice, Dwayne returns to those same principles forged when he was broke and depressed. You want success? Outwork everyone. You want respect? Stay humble when you win. You want longevity? Never forget where you started. He proved wrong every executive who said wrestlers can't act, every analyst who said he'd peak. The trajectory suggests billionaire status is inevitable, probably within the next few years as Teremana continues growing and film deals continue paying 8 figures. Not bad for a kid who once had exactly $7 to his name. Inspired by The Rock's incredible journey from broke and depressed to $800 million empire, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories of people who transformed their lowest moments into legendary comebacks. What other rags to riches stories should we cover?